Hi everyone, and welcome to video 6A. This is on circles and circumference. And just a reminder that this goes along with section 10-1 of your textbook, which we're going to be using throughout this unit. So as always, in a new unit, we're going to start out with some new vocabulary. So we're going to take down 6 new terms for this video that we'll be using off and on. Thought we'd just do one video that was just vocabulary. So the very first term that we have is going to be circle, obviously, since that's the name of our chapter. And for circle, you guys, we are going to simply say that that circle definition is the set of all points that are equidistant, remember that just means the same distance away, from a center point. As far as what a circle is named for, it is named by simply using a symbol that looks like a circle with a dot in the middle and the center letter, capital letter. So in other words, if I were thinking about circle with a point in the middle and that point was point G, then you would simply write circle with a dot in the middle and then the capital letter G after it as you're seeing it in a problem. Okay? So that's our first term. Our second new term for today is going to be center. And a center is just very simply the point in the exact middle of a circle. So if we're doing a quick sketch, here's my circle. Bear with me for its floppiness with my stylus writing here. But of course, this point right here is the center. Okay, so that's what we're looking at as far as our center definition. After that we have chord, and that's C-H-O-R-D, kind of like a chord in music. But this is going to be a line segment that you find on a circle. And it is going to join at each end of that line segment 2 points on the outside of a circle, so on a circle. So here's my sketch. If I just pick 2 points on the circle, then I could say that my chord is the segment, the line segment between those 2 points, and if we called them H and J, then my chord, if I asked you to write a chord, you would say that this is chord HJ, and guys, don't forget, since it's a segment, you need to have that segment bar over the top. Number 4 vocab word that we're going to work with today is diameter. And the diameter is a specific type of chord, so it's still a line segment joining 2 points, but it is specifically the chord that goes through the center of a circle. We can also call it the distance across the middle of a circle. So specifically, as we draw our diagram here, if we draw a center of, let's say, C this time, and a line going through C with 2 endpoints, and I hope that you're able to sketch this a little bit better than me here, but if I asked you to identify the diameter, then the diameter would be, again, segment, we could say BD, and we again want to make sure that there's a segment bar over the top. Next on our list for today we have radius. And the radius, you guys, is still a line segment, but it's a line segment, I'm just going to abbreviate here, line seg, that joins two other points, not both on the circle, but it joins a point on the circle and the center. If we're talking about a distance, it's the distance from the center to the outside of the circle. And hopefully you know what that sketch is going to look like. Let's say our center this time is point Z. We pick a point on the outside, and that's Y. Then this is going to be my radius. And so we would say this is radius Z, and remember we called that Y. So make sure that we have a segment symbol over that, and just so that you know, just to review, a chord, a diameter, and a radius, when you are naming those, you want to make sure that you have those segment bars over the top, okay? So that's what we're looking at as far as line segments go. Those three are all straight measurements. The very last one, you guys, that we're going to have when we get to the bottom of our page here is the last definition is circumference. And we're going to be working with the circumference and finding the circumference later in another video. But for now, the last definition that you need is that is the distance around the outside of a circle. And that if we are specifically talking about a formula, which we'll use later in this video, since we're going to put this all in our vocab and have it in one spot, we've got actually two formulas for circumference. The first one is the number pi, which is stored in your calculator, and that's pi times whatever the diameter is. Or the other formula for circumference is that the circumference equals 2 pi times the radius. So just a reminder that if we're looking at that second formula, that should make sense along with the first formula, because 2 times the radius, remember, 2 radii here, if we're thinking back to our picture, if we've got 1 and if we were to continue that a little further on the radius, then that would be the whole distance across the circle. So 2 times r equals d. So that's the vocabulary, you guys, we're going to be working with in this lesson, and in the next video, which is going to talk about some more problems that have to do with naming parts and finding parts that are missing of a circle, we'll be using a lot of these vocabs. So thanks.